What is good, you guys? We are back with another episode, another installment of A Day on the Hardwood. And man, we had two games today, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still here, still talking about it, doing daily. Like I said, I'm trying to do this for the entire playoffs, not miss one day. Haven't missed a day yet, and I'm trying to keep that going. But yeah, man, let's get into the Sixers-Hawks game first. It was, the Sixers had this game kind of handled the entire way. The Hawks felt like they had some hope at times. Bogdanovich doing good early. I don't know why I'm tripping. Doing good early in the game. You know what I'm saying? Early 14 points. Doing decent. Didn't do great in the second half, but still gave him that boost in the first. Gallinari was great in the second half, and Trae Young's the difference right now. Trae Young is just not. He's not as good as he was in the first series, and that's to be expected because they have Ben Simmons and Matisse guarding him most of the time. Two All-NBA defenders. Ben Simmons is 6'10", Trae Young is 6'1", expecting not to do as well, although I thought he would do better. And the deep threes, with Trae Young not being able to really penetrate like he was in the first game, and the deep threes not falling like they did, like the deep threes did not fall today. Like some of the ones that he shot, they just didn't fall, and those are some of the big shots he needs when he can't really get into the paint as well as he was in the first game. And when both of those things are happening, he's not going to have the greatest of games. But all in all, I think he still had 28. But you know, you look at that and you're like, he had a really good game. But like if you watch it, you're like, he was struggling to create the offense when he's struggling a little bit more. Not really struggling, but struggling more to create the offense than he was in the first series and in the first game. Clint Capella hasn't been the greatest lob threat. In this game, I think he missed like a couple like easy bunnies and was getting decimated once again by Joel Embiid on the defensive end. And like he's playing good defense, and he really can't do anything about it. Like I remember one time Joel Embiid got the ball like 6 seconds left in the shot clock, and I think Bogdanovich came over to double team. He like split through the double team, stepped back to the elbow, in Capella's mouth. And like, what are you supposed to do with that? Can you tell me? Like, do you want to tell me what he's supposed to do with that? Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do if somebody does that to you. You just got to take that and just go ahead and run back down the court, because you can't really, like, it's not because of his effort. I'll just say that. It's really not because of his effort. And man, when people are hitting stuff like that, I think that affects your offensive game, because you're so focused on stopping this dude every single time. Your offensive game probably is worse as expected, because man, he's trying his hardest and it just ain't working out right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. But let's talk about some of the Sixers, some of the other Sixers and what they did. Ben Simmons wasn't very aggressive in the first half. In that third quarter, he probably had like almost a spotless third quarter. Insanely aggressive on the offensive end, and just great defensive possession after great defensive possession in the third quarter on Trae Young and others. And that's what we like to see from Ben Simmons. And if we can get that Ben Simmons more throughout the rest of this playoffs, they have a chance to win the finals. But if we get past Ben Simmons like we have in the past, and he also can't hit any free throws, then his team looks a lot different. Like we've been saying for years, Ben Simmons is the X factor. Tobias Harris with another 20-point game. Seth Curry was hitting his threes decently, and the role players were playing all right today. Matisse Thybulle, although fouling out, was playing very aggressive defense on Trae Young, and you'll take that foul out from Matisse if he's playing that good defense on Trae Young while Ben Simmons is out. So you'll take that on the chin. Danny Green got hurt very early in the game, although we do cook Danny Green, and he was getting cooked by Trae Young in the first game. He's still a decent 3-point shooter and an option on maybe the other people that score on that team, and Bogdanovich and other people like that. Still a vital part to this team. Sucks for him to be out. Hopefully he can get back soon. Shout out to Danny Green, one of the most clowned on players in the league. But I'm glad he's kind of had a comeback season this year. But in these playoffs, he's kind of looked like the player that he was last year in these moments. But hopefully he can come back and be very important for this team. So shout out to Danny Green. But let's get into this second game. MVP presentation for Nikola Jokic before the game. It was super cool to see. It's insane how he looks like the most unathletic player out of his three brothers, and he won an MVP in the best professional league of basketball. That's kind of crazy, and that just goes to show how much skill runs this league these days. Because a dude like that, you wouldn't think should win MVP, and I think this MVP is really big for the city of Denver and just the Nuggets as a whole. I think I saw somebody tweet like MVPs for like these small market teams mean a little bit more than LeBron winning it or somebody like that. So shout out to Jokic, but man, oh man. Jokic was fighting, but it just wasn't enough, man. Shout out to Will Barton for getting off the minutes restriction. He was doing really, really good. I didn't know he was on a minutes restriction last game. I was pretty confused why he didn't play more. But shout out to him. He was bringing the energy as well. But besides that, Monte Morris had a couple nice moments. Michael Porter Jr., I guess, was better than he was last game, even though he wasn't great. And Aaron Gordon was horrible today. Absolutely horrible today. Campazzo, okay, just they all played all right, and like I said, the talent gap is too big. I'm not disappointed in the Nuggets. The fact that they beat Damian Lillard after he scored 55 points is a dub in itself without Jamal Murray and without Will Barton last series. Will Barton coming back this series, and man, Aaron Gordon can't go 0 for 7 in the first quarter. The first half, if y'all want to win this game, like he's too important for this team, man. He's way too important for the team. I thought Austin Rivers was gonna get going. He had a couple nice plays in the first quarter, but he didn't have as big of a game as I thought he was. And you need players to play out of their skin for people to win these games, like they did last series. Monte Morris and Austin Rivers were playing out of body experiences for a little bit. Monte Morris 22 points a couple times, I think, playing really good, being like a decent Jamal Murray replacement, and none of them look like a Jamal Murray replacement today, like a good one, rather. So if that's not happening, they don't have a chance. Jokic, like I said, was battling on the boards all night. This was not a fake 20 rebounds. He had a lot of big offensive rebounds, good putbacks. He was trying his hardest, and it just wasn't enough. Although he was kind of inefficient today, missing a lot of those mid-ranges at the free throw line in the first half, he still had a really, really good game and bodied Ayton a couple times, but it wasn't enough, and it's because of this man, Chris Paul, bro. And what I have to say, it's not as bad as what Michael Budenholzer does with the drop coverage with Brook Lopez, but Nikola Jokic was I think you just have to bite on the mid-range because Chris Paul's too deadly from that. I don't know, maybe you have to have somebody drop, like maybe you have Porter drop to cover Ayton, because I'd rather have Crowder shoot the 3 than Chris Paul shoot that 2, bro. And that sounds crazy, and it's literally only for Chris Paul that I'd say that for, because if he does that little skip dribble and he does that fadeaway, it's going in, bro. And it's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's going in. So they kept letting him get it. Oh, skip dribble. Like that. Like that. It's going in. Like, it's not. You can't do nothing about it if you're not going to cover it for real. So you got. I think you got to cover that at mid-range. That mid-range harder than you cover any other mid-range. Devin Booker with another really, really good game. Tough shots, hitting. His floater was insane today. I knew he had a floater, obviously, but he had a couple, like, off the right foot, left hand. And I was like, that's tough, bro. That is mightily tough. I knew you had the fadeaway. I knew you had the sidestep. I knew you had all that. I didn't know he had those type of floaters in his bag. I'm not going to lie to you. So shout out to Devin Booker for showing me even another part of his game that's great. Maybe I've just not been watching Suns games, but I didn't know he had those type of floaters in his bag. So shout out to him for that, man. Jay Crowder and Miles Bridges just being active as usual, you know what I'm saying? Especially Mikal Bridges being active as usual. So shout out to him and DeAndre Ayton having another solid game to finish it out. And yeah, this series is pretty much over, man. Shout out to the Suns for getting to Western Conference Finals. I don't think anybody's ever blown a 3-0 lead, so yeah, man. I think this is over. Shout out to the Nuggets with another great season. The fact that Jokic won MVP, played all 72 games, and the fact that they went on that nice little stretch at the end of the season without Jamal Murray to get to this spot is very, very impressive. So shout out to them for just overplaying and some of these players playing better than we expected them to. But I think the Suns are just a lot too much for the Denver Nuggets. But shout out to them. Yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys today. 2 kind of subpar games. Tomorrow we got the Clippers and Utah. Utah. Seems like that's always a close game, although Utah has won both of them. Hopefully the Clippers can win one so this series can go a little bit longer, man, because I want to see the best series possible. With the Mavs out, I just want to see the best series possible at this point. So yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this type of content, like and sub on the video if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.